Rev up your engines!
Well, Toyota has finally figured out why its twin-turbo V6 are failing. Toyota says in production, machining debris may not have been removed from the engine, so it could cause, in quotes, potential engine knocking, rough running, engine no start, loss of power. This engine contains crankshaft main bearings, which allow the crankshaft to rotate. There's a possibility that debris was not cleared from the engine when they manufactured and contaminated the engine assembly. It can lead to failure of the main bearings, so of course that can destroy your engine. Now, this is a big faux pas for Toyota to have engine failure on their twin-turbo V6s, right? What's happening with Toyota is they're starting to decline. Anybody can see they're starting to decline. And they're making stupid choices, too. They're getting rid of V8 engines, replacing them with V6. They're getting V6 engines in the Tacomas, replacing them with four-cylinder turbos. More strain. The smaller the engine, the more strain. They need actually higher quality control, and in this case, they're having lower quality control. So they're kind of in a big pickle now. They need to get back to their basic Toyota making quality stuff and stop this crap of trying to, oh, well, we're going to make it pollute less. Oh, we're going to get better gas mileage. No, you need a car that lasts and runs, and that's what people want, right? And if you don't, you're going to be screwed. The interesting thing about it is, though, this is just their conventional engine. It doesn't affect any of the Tundras or Lexuses with hybrid, because the hybrid engines are Atkinson cycle engines, and they're different style engines, and they don't have this problem. It's just kind of sad that they always had such great quality, and now they're starting to let it slip. Seems like after coronavirus, Toyota started to slip. I don't know if they got a labor problem or whatever, but obviously it's starting to slip. Well, here's an interesting thing. It follows a pattern. The Subaru BRZ and WRX sales have tanked. They're going down the toilet this year, 2024. But the Forester is on fire because, of course, the Forester is an SUV. Americans are in love with SUVs. And sports cars, sedans, not as much anymore. Now, you'd be really surprised. The Subaru BRZ sales are down 45% the first 5 months of this year, 2024. But the Forester was up 61.4%. 45% less BRZs, but 61% more Foresters. You do the swing both ways, that's over 100%, right? So, hey, people who talk about, oh, that we want sporty little cars. No, people really don't anymore. That's the past. People don't want sporty cars. Maybe they got a dream they want a sporty car, but they're not actually going to buy one. Now, interesting enough, their electric vehicle, the Solterra, its sales are up 73%. That only accounts for 4,149 vehicles, right? That's not that many, right? You're talking about less than 10,000 a year. That's they're still all money losers, these electric vehicles. But both the Foresters and the Outbacks are selling like hotcakes because people want SUVs, and the Subarus are lower priced. Now, as I've warned people, the Subaru quality is a bit lower. Leak oil when they get older because they use glue instead of gaskets on some parts of the engine. They do cut corners when they build them. They're cheaper to buy. They're also cheaper made, right? But those sales are up because people want SUVs. They have less money to spend. So I had a customer bring me one. I said, well, why'd you buy the Subaru? They said, because the RAV4 costs 15, 20 grand more. And I said, well, that's a lot of money. Why not? You're buying a new vehicle. They're decent. They'll last for quite some time, right? But the sports cars, no. People aren't interested in them anymore. And the electric cars, it's such a small amount of cars that they're selling. It's immaterial as it stands today. It's more a showcase thing. They all want to be able to say, oh, we got electric cars. We got electric cars. Jimmy Sumi says, hey, my 2020 RAV4 brake squeaks when it's cold, and I read that people suggest I change the brake shims, and that'd be an issue. It could be, but Dad knew if it's never been touched, no. I would advise, if they squeak and you don't like it, go out and buy a set of Akebono pads, a Japanese company, Akebono. Those never make any noise. Put Akebono brake pads on, and I guarantee you the squeak will go away. Then you won't have to think about it anymore. You get Akebono ceramic pads. They're relatively expensive, but they're well made, and they don't make noise. Stephen Barangi says, Scotty, is it possible to swap out a CVT transmission for my Corolla with an automatic gearbox? Well, I suppose anything's possible, but it would be highly problematic because they're only made for CVTs if it has one. Your engine computer software and everything is set up for that. It would be pretty much an impossibility. Plus, where are you going to get something that fits right on there because your car was made for a CVT transmission? You can't buy a Corolla anymore that has an automatic. They're all CVTs. So where are you going to get the automatic transmission from? From an older car? It won't ever work from an older car. It wouldn't sync with any of the computer stuff. If you don't like the CVT, I say just get rid of it. Get an older one that has an automatic. Straight out of the box says, hey, My 15 Scion TC has streaks across the windows when I put the windows down. All right, well, something in there is getting oil in there. Now, the power windows have motors that are lubricated. Could be it's wearing out, some of the oil leaked out and it's getting on inside, from the inside of your window. I'd say clean your glass really good with really good cleaner to try to get it all off. And if that doesn't work, I mean, take the inner door panel. I got a video how to take the inner door panels out on Toyota. Easy job to do. And see what's greasy. There's some kind of grease you got inside there. Now, of course, the simplest thing would be, you know, they run on those rubber liners that the glass goes up and down on each side's a rubber liner. You might clean that with silicone spray. Maybe there's some kind of goop on there and that'll clean it off. And the silicone spray lubricates it better anyways. Day Axman says, my 04 Toyota Camry has a sinking brake pedal with no leaks. Any thoughts? Booster, master cylinder. It doesn't sink right away on speed, but in traffic it'll sink all the way. It could be one of many things. If you have ABS, it could be the ABS module. Most of the time on those, it's the brake master cylinder and it's leaking inside, coming back and going inside the booster. And so all you got to do is take it off. And if you look on the back side of the master cylinder where it came out of the booster and it's all wet, it's your brake master cylinder. If not, a booster will do that too. And here's how you test a booster. Leave the car turned off. Step on the brake. Let's say it's hard and it stays there as you press on it. Then start the car up. And if you step on it, it sinks. It's the booster. That's how you can test. Then it would mean you needed a booster. Hard with the engine turned off, but then when you start it and the booster starts working and it sinks, that's the booster and not the master cylinder. The Nutty 0101 says, Scotty, have you heard anything about Toyota making a diesel truck? Heck, they made diesel trucks for a long time. They just don't sell them here. They sell them all over the world. They'll probably never sell them in the United States. Diesels aren't popular in the United States. Americans don't like them. It's a bad pollution move. Toyota doesn't want to get the EPA after them even more than they already are for not making enough electric cars, yada, 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 yada. And no matter what they say about diesel vehicles, they pollute more because they are compression ignition, they're incomplete combustion, and pollutants come out of diesels and they always will. They can filter them to some extent, but then you got to buy real expensive filters and they still don't filter them all out. So I doubt if it'll ever bring any of them into the United States now. Jerry Meta says, your thoughts on the new Honda Pilot versus Toyota Grand Highlander? They're both decent vehicles. Now, the problem is, if their Grand Highlander only comes with a Turbo 4 instead of a V6, I would get the Honda Pilot instead. V6 Honda Pilot versus a 4-cylinder turbo Grand Highlander. I don't like turbocharged cars because I know the technology behind them. All they're doing is ramming in extra pressure. The more pressure that's in an engine, the faster it's going to wear out. And the Pilot doesn't have that in it. Dennis Fronin says, Scotty, what do you think about getting an 85 Cadillac Seville as a daily driver? Can they work well with drivers if you're storing in proper condition? Okay, I would never do that. One, it's an 85. That thing is so old. What are we talking about? 39-year-old car. Come on. Doesn't make sense. And it's a Cadillac Seville on top of it. An 85 Cadillac Seville is one of the worst vehicles Cadillac ever made. In the 80s, they put out junk. It would have to be completely done over, and it wouldn't be worth the money, and you still got an old car. You can't use it as a daily driver. Engine seals will leak. Transmission seals will leak. You got to pull the engines, transmissions out to do all that work. No, that would be something that if you're really nuts about it for some weird reason, they weren't collector's items, they're ugly cars as far as I'm concerned, but if you like them and you wanted a weekend toy and you could get it cheap, go ahead, but daily driver, no. No, well, I can't help but laugh at this. Biden confused the Chinese Premier Xi with Putin while he was defending new tariffs on China. He says, no, here's the deal. There's a difference. I made it clear to Putin from the beginning that we're not engaging in, for example, Trump wants a 10% tariff on everything. That'll raise the price of everything in America. Of course, he wasn't talking about Putin. He was talking about Xi, right? I could understand, as the cliche goes, if he would have confused President Xi with another Chinese guys, because his Americans always say, gee, they all look the same to us, the old joke. And they say, oh, well, you Americans all look the same to us, too. But he was confusing a Russian with Xi. Now, that's a pretty big mistake there, right? Bad enough that he should know who the people are to begin with, but he's confusing a Russian with a Chinese guy, right? And this is the head of our country. They're supposed to be the smartest guy who knows what's going on. It really makes you wonder what's going on in this country. It's just total insanity. You can't make this stuff up. Hey, the guy's 81 years old. What the heck? You're gonna forget things, right? But you're supposed to be running things? He's just reading the cue cards of what people throw in front of him, and obviously he can't even read the cue cards right now. It's just insanity. I mean, our country has reached a new level of insanity. Old guys running for president that don't know what the heck's going on. It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. I mean, I gotta laugh about it because if I don't be crying, this guy's running a country? He doesn't know what's going on, right? So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.